Atlanta News First Plus starts now.
Police in DeKalb County are investigating after a child was shot near a fast food restaurant. Thank you for joining us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I am Maria Moreau here with your top headlines. First Alert Meteorologist JD Disharoon will be joining me in a few moments with your First Alert weather forecast. We want to take you out to DeKalb County to talk about this story. That's where we find our Atlanta News First Don Shipman, who is with the First Alert breaking news tracker outside of police headquarters where the investigation is getting underway.
What we do know is that investigators believe that two groups of people were in an argument when someone started firing off shots, and that's when that young boy was hit. This right here is where it happened, inside this shopping plaza near some gas stations and a McDonald's. This is on North Stone Mountain Lithonia Road. This was last night around 7 p.m., right around dinner time. You can see police had this area cordoned off for several hours. One thing we noticed that it appears that there were multiple shots fired, because we could see several evidence markers placed on the pavement there near bullet casings, upwards of 20. Authorities tell us that when officers got to the 300 block of that road, they found that young boy suffering from at least one gunshot wound. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital. Right now, we do not know the boy's condition. Police have yet to release updated information on this. Also have yet to release whether or not they have anyone under arrest or anyone in custody for questioning or a suspect. Once we hear back, we'll pass that information along to you. We're here in DeKalb. Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.
Thank you, Patrick, for that report. Let's move things over to Carroll County, where a teen is accused of killing her mother and stepfather. She was expected to have her trial begin today, and now that is being pushed all the way to August 3rd. Now, Sarah Grace Patrick appeared before a judge today, and her attorneys argued that they still need more time because they don't have a final copy of her psychological exam. The state has also requested to conduct their own version of this exam, and the judge, although reluctant, agreed to push things, granting time to both sides. The judge did say that another delay would not be granted and urged that both attorneys get the exam done and get all of their evidence together by August 3rd. Now, prosecutors allege that Sarah Grace Patrick shot the couple in their bed back in February of 2025. The sheriff's office said their 6-year-old daughter found their bodies, and Patrick was actually the one who called 911. She is being tried as an adult and faces 2 counts of murder and aggravated assault. We are going to stay on top of this story. Our Atlanta News First, Sarah Hammond, will have a report for you coming up for Atlanta News First News at noon. Let's move things over and talk about the Falcons. Some major news this morning as Atlanta Falcons continue to shift their front office following the conclusion of the 2025 season. Now, owner Arthur Blank announced in the letter that Rich McKay will no longer serve as president and CEO of the team, elevating team president Greg Beatles to the position. McKay is expected to take a larger role across the Arthur M. Blank Sports and Entertainment Organization, but this announcement coming after head coach Raheem Morris and general manager Terry Fontenot were fired Sunday night after finishing the season with an 8-9 record and then missing the postseason. A lot going on for the Falcons. You can read more about that in our free Atlanta News First app. And today is a big day. Not only are many of you getting back into the swing with work, it is a big day for our very own Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens, who will be sworn in at Georgia State University's Convocation Hall. Now, Dickens won his second election after facing several challengers back in November, but the election was quickly called in his favor. He served on Atlanta City Council before eventually taking office for his first term in 2022. You can join us on ANF Plus at 1 p.m. as we talk with senior reporter Patrick Quinn about what the mayor said his priorities are for 2026. We will also carry this inauguration live, so you can watch that wherever you stream. And I want to talk more nationally about the big news, in case you missed it over the weekend, that we have been following and reporting to you really since it took place on Saturday. The leader of Venezuela and his wife were captured and taken into custody in a mission dubbed Operation Absolute Resolve. President Nicolas Maduro and Cecilia Flores will appear in federal court today on drug and weapons charges. Lee Waldman reports.
Good night. Happy New Year.
Hours after Venezuelans in the capital city of Caracas were woken up by the sounds of explosions early Saturday, President Nicolas Maduro was seen cuffed, being led by agents at the Drug Enforcement Administration office in Manhattan. He and his wife, Celia Flores, were dragged from their bedroom during a large-scale U.S. military operation, according to two sources familiar with the matter. President Donald Trump said the U.S. will control Venezuela indefinitely without giving any details.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
Trump said Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth would work with a team to help run the country and would be willing to work with the Venezuelan acting president, Delcy Rodriguez. Rodriguez, however, appeared to be loyal to the Maduro government.
We demand the immediate release of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, the only president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Sunday, Rubio offered little clarification on what U.S. control would look like.
So it's not running, it's running policy. The policy with regards to this, we want Venezuela to move in a certain direction because not only do we think it's good for the people of Venezuela, it's in our national interest.
Around the world and in the U.S., some are happy for the controversial leader to be gone. Others have voiced skepticism over the U.S.'s motives, denouncing the move as kidnapping and raising concerns about the future of the rule of law. In New York,
And now, meanwhile, this morning, flights to and from the Caribbean are resuming at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport after the FAA closed that airspace in connection with the U.S. military operation that took place in Venezuela. Atlanta News First, Niamani Watson is at the airport with more from passengers who experienced those flight disruptions.
Delta started canceling flights Saturday morning. Some Delta passengers we spoke with say at first they thought they would be stuck in the Caribbean for much longer than they had anticipated. The airspace closure expired yesterday. This morning, airlines are increasing flights to get more people back home. Atlanta-based Delta Airlines is adding more than 2,600 seats through extra flights for the Caribbean today. They say they are making sure customers are reaccommodated by tomorrow. American Airlines also announced it's adding inter-island flights from the Eastern Caribbean to Miami. Scott, who was visiting Nevis, says he was supposed to fly back to Atlanta on Saturday, but received a notice that his flight was canceled. He says luckily Delta was able to send a special plane to bring them back home last night.
They sent a plane down to pick all of us up and brought us back, and we're thankful for Delta. It's amazing.
We're happy to be home.
We're glad to be home.
Happy to be home safely, and I mean, it's unfortunate what's happening, but it's out of our
very
control.
unfortunate for the folks there and all that's happening, but we're just happy to be home.
Delta says some passengers may experience flight delays due to that increase in capacity. It's recommended that you arrive at the airport at least 3 hours before your flight. Reporting at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, I'm Niamani Watson, Atlanta News First.
Thank you, Niamani Watson, for that report. A gorgeous look outside at First Alert weather cameras showing you Hartsfield-Jackson. A ground stop really dominated this morning. That has since lifted. But we want to talk about your First Alert weather forecast. I want to bring in First Alert Meteorologist JD Disharoon with what's coming up in this new year, new week ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So the big story this morning obviously was the fog. As you can see, it has lifted out of Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. We're looking at temperatures right now around 52 degrees. Winds out of the east-southeast about 5 miles an hour. Even that slight increase from 3 to 5 miles an hour really helped to clear things out. You can see visibility has improved, but not perfect yet. You need about a 10 on that visibility to have perfect conditions. So as you look off to Marietta, another live camera that we have here, notice they still have the fog. So it is slow to recede on the northern end of town. So if you're going to be traveling on the top end of 285 or up 400 towards Lake Lanier or I-85 and 985, you're still going to be dealing with that fog as we head into the morning hours. Meanwhile, here's the fog tracker. You can see a lot of tins on there where the fog has cleared out. Worst of it, though, still up into Canton, Gainesville, Athens, over in towards Covington. Thankfully, folks down in Putnam County and Eatonton have cleared things out as well. Everybody should start to clear things out as we head into the next hour, hour and a half. Once we do, we can expect sunny skies turning partly cloudy by the afternoon and temperatures warming on up right around the low 60s for most of us this afternoon. We're talking temperatures eventually getting 10 degrees above average today after a cooler start this morning. Now, we started the morning 30s and 40s. We're up into the 40s and even 50s now. Peachtree City and Noonan almost up near 60. So that shows you the difference that the fog has made. Areas that didn't really see it this morning closing in on the upper 50s. Those who did still in those 40s and then lower 50s. So once the fog clears, though, we will clear things out as we head into the afternoon. We're talking temperatures topping out near 61 degrees today, and we'll hold on to the 60s for most of the afternoon. In fact, it's not until we get into the evening that we'll see those temperatures start to drop off a bit. But notice we're going to have the cloud cover sticking with us overnight. That's going to act like a little bit of a blanket, so we're not going to see those temperatures drop off as quickly as we did this morning. So, and it's not just Atlanta. You know, we're topping out 63 degrees today, 61 in Covington, 61 in Gainesville, 59 in Athens, 67 in Rome. Other than that, though, I think we're talking lower 60s for today. So what's the overall picture? What's causing all of this? Well, it's high pressure. So this is a surface high. This is obviously, as it intends, near the surface. That's important, and I'll show you why in just a minute. So it's helping to warm us up with a southerly flow, giving us those low to mid 60s today. It's also helping us get to about 10 degrees above average for this afternoon. But back out to the west, there's an upper level high. As that moves to the east, that's going to bring reinforcing warmer air, and not just at the surface, but throughout the layers of the atmosphere. And that's going to help the things warm up, but it's also going to help them stay warm for quite a few days. So by the time we get to Wednesday, we're talking widespread highs in the low 70s across most of the southeast, and those temperatures are going to be near record highs as we head through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. In fact, could tie the record on Wednesday. We'll be close on Thursday, and if we get to 73 on Friday, we'll break the record. So it just goes to show you, this is not just warm, it's unusually warm, record-breaking warm for this time of year. As for the rain chances, we've got a 20% chance on there for tomorrow. We have a little system that's going to clip us, that's going to bring us to mostly cloudy skies. I think anyone who does see the rain would be up into North Georgia, maybe Northwest Georgia. Folks here in the metro and south, I don't think we'll see that, but we will see the increased cloud cover. Our rain chances will hold off until our next first alert weather day. That's going to be arriving into the weekend. So here's the deal. By Friday, clouds will be increasing, but rain is still going to stay off towards the west. It's not until we get into the early hours of Saturday morning that the showers start to move in, maybe even a few thunderstorms popping off as we go into the afternoon. It's a strong cold front. We have 70s, obviously. That's what we're going to see ahead of it. But behind it, temperatures dropping 20, maybe even 30 degrees. So it's a huge drop. Could cause just enough instability between those two air masses to give us a stray thunderstorm. But it's all done by the time we get into Saturday night. When that happens, though, look at Sunday. Yeah, colder. In fact, a lot of folks not even getting out of the 40s, and it will be windy as well. We're going to be seeing those temperatures in the morning back into the 30s. So enjoy this warm up while you can. So again, today 63. It's going to be a beautiful one out there. A lot of us will be seeing those temperatures in the low to mid 60s, not cooling off as quickly as we head into the evening hours with those clouds in place, and looking for mostly cloudy to overcast skies for tomorrow. But still, enough southerly winds to help us warm up. We're talking 60 in Blairsville, 60 in LJ, a little cooler there because they have the denser, thicker clouds and that slight rain chance. The rest of us, mid-60s. Low 70s on your Wednesday, low 70s on your Thursday, low 70s on your Friday. Again, here's that chance of rain that you're going to be looking at on Saturday. Let's zoom it in a little bit, and you can kind of get a more local view here. And you can see by the time we get to 11 a.m., these showers, maybe a rumble of thunder pushing through the Atlanta area, continuing as we head through the early afternoon and then moving out fairly quickly. And then, boom, we're going to see the winds start to arrive. So, again, Sunday, it looks good sunshine-wise, but you'll want the jacket and maybe even the windbreaker to help things, stay a little bit warm, at least for yourself. Otherwise, it's going to be a beautiful week out there. Don't forget, you can join Jennifer Valdez, our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, and also First Alert Meteorologist Patrick Pete. They're going to be on air online later on this afternoon with the updates to your forecast. Until then, have a great afternoon.
Stay up to date on your latest weather from the largest team of meteorologists in the Southeast. Download the First Alert Weather app for hour-by-hour forecasts and join us every weekday at 11:30 a.m. on ANF+. You can also text WEATHER to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.